body in a Prague back alley. Rain learning how to keep its mouth shut. A phone rings once, then nothing answers. An old friend gone, a line gone cold. A manuscript that shouldn't exist. No name, no place, no origin. The ink is dry, but it still resists a truth that learned how to live in mist. Cafes with mirrors, tired lights, antiquarian dust on borrowed shelves. They whisper cough, they look away, as if a name could end the spell. Hotel bars that sell forgetting, cheap rooms that keep expensive nights. I drink too much, I drink too much, I talk too late. I leave my answers half polite. A manuscript that shouldn't exist. It breathes between the lines you miss. They say it's false, they say it's dead, but lies are neat when nicely said. They warn me softly, then again, to close the folder, drop the trail. But every page remembers hands, and every margin tells a tale. A man they call the fox passes by, silk gloves, a smile that never stays. He reads the room, not the words, keeps the last sentence for another day. Some stories don't ask to be told, they wait until you're listening wrong. They change the past by holding still, they prove you knew it all along. I follow steps that leave no mark, truth dressed as second-hand air. The more I read, the less I know who placed the pages and why they're there. Because it's not what's written down, it's what was chosen to be erased. A manuscript without a face can still remember every place. A manuscript that shouldn't exist. Some truths survive by being missed. If words can die, they still persist, like names that fade but never quit. Ink dries, the shadow stays, and pride keeps quiet. When the fox, the bees and the fall, they never say his real name out loud. They lower their voices, they change their own. A man arrives without a call, leaves without footsteps, leaves too soon. When the fox appears in the fog, the streets forget which way they run. Every promise turns to smoke, every shadow learns to become someone. Froggy night erases edges, the alleys edit every plan. Cat and mouse lose their meanings when no one knows who began. He knows my past without asking, the parks I bed under drain. He smiles like someone who's read the end and watched me stop to short of the brink. When the fox appears in the fog, memory loosens, names go thin. It's not the truth that cuts you open, it's what you chose now to bring in. Antique shops with lot back rooms, letter sold by weight and age. Every lie with careful ink, every truth prefers the margin of the page. He plays the city like a hand of cards, never shows what he keeps. He wins by folding early, by knowing what the other sideline speaks. Some games don't need the board or rules, they only need your die. You don't lose when you make the wrong move, you lose when you don't step out. I follow signs the car should dig, directions written after the fact. The fog isn't hiding the fox from me, it's hiding me from myself. Because the fox isn't just a man, he's a question you answer late. He waits until you recognize which memories seal your fate. Appears in the fog, nothing stays the way it was. You don't remember what you saw, you remember what you almost heard. No tracks, no proof, only Winter in Zurich, glass and breath. The lake holds still, the streets obey. A courier walks into the cold and doesn't make it to the day. The fox's gaze is calm and clear. It doesn't hunt, it waits. It doesn't ask what you have done, it asks what you became. A gallery closed before its time, white walls remembering a lie. A painting wrapped in careful hands, declared extinct but passing by. I follow lines that lead to rooms where no one swears they've been before. The colder it gets, the closer comes the sense I've seen this gaze once more. The fox's gaze doesn't accuse, it measures what you hide. It counts the seconds you pretend you never chose a side. Florence hums in borrowed light. Stone remembers every step. She stands where we once learned to lie, says less than all she's kept. Her silence weighs more than her words. Her eyes know things I never said. Some truths don't travel with the past, they wait until you're met. You think the gaze belongs to him, the fox, the game, the plan. But every mirror needs your face to understand the man. In lion letters surface slowly, ink encrypted, patience thin. A young man stares too wide, too sharp, as if he knew how this would end. Because the fox doesn't just see you, he watches you see yourself. And something shifts when you realize you're no longer someone else. The fox's gaze is calm and clear. It doesn't blink or fade. Once it has passed through who you were, you don't remain unchanged. Zurich keeps its distance polite. Clean streets, careful code names disappear in white receipts, truths neatly bought and sold. Cities remember your name, even when you forget it yourself. They file your steps in quiet rooms, on shelves you never shelve. Florence breathes in layered stone, arches hum with borrowed time. Every corner knows the weight of promises dressed as design. She stands where history slows down, speaks softly, lets the silence work. Some secrets age like wine, some wait like knives behind a smile. Cities remember your name. They don't forgive or accuse. They wait until you pass again and ask what you will choose. Lion writes letters into rain, ink hidden in a careful code. A young man's eyes too open wide, as if he knew the road. Messages folded into years, addresses crossed but never gone. The past doesn't chase, it stays, it hums beneath what carries on. You think you move from place to place, but places move through you. They learn your face, your pauses, the things you never do. Hotel rooms that don't ask why, bars that know when not to hear. Every city leaves a mark exactly where you disappear. Because names don't travel lightly, they sink into the ground, and cities speak them back to you without making a sound. Cities remember your name long after footsteps fade. They keep it ready for the night. You wish you'd never stayed. Stone keeps score. Streets don't forget. You were here. It starts with a cigarette, slow and thin, a match that knows where this will go. Amber glitters over empty streets. Below the lights, the cold runs low. Smoke draws a perfect circle. Nothing enters, nothing leaves. What begins as habit turns to ritual. What you know becomes what you believe. Lunenburg breeze in borrowed fog. Timbered houses learn to wait. The
river moves like it always has, quiet enough to calibrate. Old figures return without surprise, voices sound like folded years. Balances are drawn in pencil lines, accounts kept by disappearing peers. Smoke draws a perfect circle, every end is something old. You don't step out once you're inside, you only change the way you go. An empty theater holds its breath, seats remember every sound. Scripts that never met the light are stacked where echoes circle round. He watches more than he decides, learn too late what action costs. Some games survive by being seen, some are only ever lost. A circle doesn't ask for truth, it only asks for time. If you stand still long enough, it calls your name a second time. The river hums, the smoke repeats, a gesture older than the case. He understands without relief why nothing here is meant to break. Smoke draws a perfect circle. Smoke draws a perfect circle, no beginning, no excuse. What you thought you'd leave behind has already chosen you. Ash falls, the line holds nothing open.
Smoke draws a perfect circle. Smoke draws a perfect circle.
Morning doesn't change the room, the night still owns the air. A coat hangs where a body stood, as if it's waiting there. The fox was never a man, never flesh, never bone. He was the space between a choice and the moment you stood alone. Every clue did what it should, led closer, not away. Truth arrived without a sound and asked him if he'd stay. All the cities line up now: Prague, Zurich, Florence, Lyon. They don't accuse, they don't forgive, they only carry on. The fox was never a man, he never needed a face. He lived where silence makes its deals and memory sets the pace. The circle closes without force, no final scene, no shout. Understanding doesn't feel like winning, it feels like finding out. He lights another cigarette, not to calm, not to think. Some habits aren't escapes at all, they're ways to stand on the brink. You search for someone to blame, a figure you can name, but mirrors only work one way, when everyone's the same. The river keeps what voices lose, the city learns to sleep. What mattered most was never said, but what you chose to keep. The fox was never a man, he was a state of mind. A question asked too late to answer, a shape you leave